Welcome to Moonlight Madness, and today we're doing the readings for the earth signs. They came up very strong. Excuse my voice, I have a bit of a cold. I think everyone in the country has a bit of a cold, but I'm liking how it makes my voice sound huskier. Okay, so Moonlight Madness, earth signs, Sun, Moon, Rising 2022. Tiger, this is the year of the tiger. So if you have a tiger in your Chinese astrological chart, count yourself fortunate because this is going to be your year. And the Chinese tiger tends to make bold moves that don't normally add up. They do things on impulse. They like spontaneity. They don't like to be confined. They like to be running free, in the wild or wherever it is they run, because they are an animal that does not like to be caged for very long. So if you happen to have if you're an earth sign with a tiger in your chart, it may make you come across as not like a typical earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, because you want your freedom as well as security. You want both. And the other star sign that I know that is like that is very tetchy and get quick to feeling like suffocated, is an Aquarian, because I'm an Aquarian, and we're coming into Aquarius season. And we don't like to be caged in or hemmed in by society's rules and dictated to by society's social norms. We don't like to fit in. We don't care if we don't fit in. And we don't necessarily care for anyone else to tell us how we should fit in either. You'll get an argument from us for sure. We're quick to temper. Aquarians are very quick to temper because we're very passionate about our belief system. And if it doesn't align with you, then that's not our problem. So I had a channeled message this morning for one person in particular. Now, how I get these messages, it's different for every time, and it's usually when I'm not well that I get these messages. I've had a few temperatures, etc., and flu temperatures. This is when I travel the most. This is when I tend to astral travel and get impressions. So I was watching some Twilight episodes on YouTube yesterday. In particular for Robert Pattinson, who I was channeling for. And I got the impression, or what he was showing me was he was in the dark, sitting, I don't know, outside on a back step somewhere. He had his head in his hands, just like going, oh, what do I do, type of thing. And it's almost like he was feeling isolated or cut off from society, like a prisoner, or being held in a self-imposed prison, like an Eight of Swords card. It is, however, a mental state of mind, a sense of entrapment. Maybe he's an overthinker, or he goes over things he may have seen as past mistakes, or ruminates over things he may have done in the past that he's not proud of, or with relationships, etc., or beats himself up, maybe. Then the scene flashes to your parents sitting at a table, and they want to talk to me or invite me to dinner, and you making up some excuse to them about how I cannot make it. Parents' opinion of your relationships matters a great deal to you. If you are unsure about a potential partner, then no introduction to parents as a friend or otherwise. You have very traditional values and you're very old school. So I get that, yes, you like to not conform. However, when it comes to important stuff like meeting parents, etc., just as a friend or even as an acquaintance, you're very old school there. That's like something you don't do. So you have to ruminate and make a decision whether, if you have someone as a friend like that, maybe I was not the friend, I was just the person who felt like that to you, because I'm trying to get where your headspace is at. So maybe there's a friend that you don't want to introduce to your mum yet because you're not sure of what type of a relationship that it is, even if it is probably not a relationship as yet. And that's all I got. So the first card I got when I pulled today, so that was a specific channel message. I got that this morning at 8 o'clock. The Chariot. This is the card of movement, action. The Sagittarian card. And you see how she's trying to steer those two dragonflies? That's to do with dedication, self-discipline to a diet, a way of life. Maybe you're the driving force in other people's lives. Maybe you will want to get a car, or having Sagittarian energy around you right now, you need to steer a straight line between light and dark forces, or positive and negative aspects, which is why I've got the black candle and the white candle. Now the deck I'm using today is the Fairy Tarot by Doreen and Radleigh Valentine, and I'm using the Enchanted map by Colette-Baron-Reid and Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette-Baron-Reid. I've got crystals that I'm using today that I use. This is one for intuition, it's lapis. And for Sagittarian energy, I like citron. I find citron works well with Sagittarian energy. Now these are from Rainbow Runner. It's a little shop in Beaumont Street, Hamilton, and I go there and get all my crystals that I use in the videos. Most Aquarian energy will relate very strongly to the amethyst. It's a bit dirty. It's got I did a smudge stick thing yesterday. So amethyst is good for Aquarians to balance their mental and emotional state. For love, I always go to the cups. Usually are all about love and compassion. So I use the rose quartz crystal for that if I want to attract love. Or wearing pink is a good idea. Tiger's Eye is for the year of the tiger, because we're in tigers. So there's the Tiger's Eye. And that's also for a Leo energy. Or, anyone that needs a little bit of protection, Tiger's Eye is good for protection. So it's talking about whether you're very protective of your friends and family. I'm guessing that's what that's about as well. Crossing you is the Three of Wands. Now the Three of Wands is about 3 ships that are out on the shoreline, and it's talking about waiting for your ships to come in, maybe 3 opportunities, giving or receiving a success from a job well done while you wait for your rewards to be delivered. Maybe you haven't been paid for something yet. You've worked a job and not got paid. You're maybe contemplating your next step forward. Like I've got that image of Robert Pattinson, like head in hands, trying to think what to do next, like his next project. Maybe coming from one film set going to another one. So you're looking at your creation and what you've done and looking at a long-term mindset. Creation from last success to elevate and support and propel you to your next project. So it also talks about business travel, so you may be working away at the moment. In the past, the recent past, you had a Queen of Cups around you, someone who's maybe a nurse or a community nurse, who's a mature lady. She's in her late 30s, early 40s, or late 40s, and she is always tired because it looks like she takes the weight of the world on her shoulders. She may be very giving and very loving and compassionate, and by doing this, she depletes her energy resources very quickly. So yeah, she's got a lot of energy, healing energy, but that costs her dearly later on, which is why the sunflowers are trying to get her attention. So she's got a lot of people that want her attention, but she's only one person, so she can't get around everyone. And then you've got here in the recent past, you've got a 5 of Cups, which is to do with forgiveness. Yeah. So 5 of Cups there is that she's got to learn how to not focus on what frightens her, but focus on what she can do to be compassionate or feel things. It's also talking about making sure you don't forget the beautiful things that are in your environment, the trees, the nature, the plants, and that, to go outside for a walk and look at natural beauty when things get you down. The things that make you unhappy, you tend to wallow about situations from the past. You need to mourn a loss. Maybe you're mourning or grieving a loss of something in the past, and maybe just reach out to people or support groups to help you recover in a healthy way. It says, remove yourself from negative people. I find the more negative people around me, the more negative I can pick up on, and I don't necessarily want to pick up on. The Emperor. Even clothes. I find clothes can pick up on energy around you. So with this COVID thing we've got, I like to soak my clothes sometimes in antibacterial as well as washing powder, just to kill off anything that could be stuck to the clothes. And it'll help to move the proteins out of the fabric. It'll help to make them come apart so it's not attaching to the clothes that you're wearing. So soaking them in a bucket is a really good idea. Crowning you, using all the other king's energy to be a world leader. You may have discernment and logic. That's the Knight of Swords. You may be compassionate. and warm. That would be relating to the King of Pentacles. And it says here, you may be very logical, protective, and you could also be fiery, and you are very passionate about things. Your diligence to work is a Knight of Wands energy. You may have a lot of empathy, and emotional caring is the Knight of Cups energy. In the future, you've got the Princess of Cups, which is the princess sitting in her private garden at the back. It talks to someone who's very sensitive, who is very shy, to get to know her, and she may be a journalist. She may like to journal. She may have books like the side of her bed. She may like to text, or she may be a dream interpreter. Very gentle, very sensitive, interested in other people's relationships or relationships generally. She may like social work or psychology. She might be interested in that. And very poetic, fondness for writing, enjoys their private time, alone time. The World. This is Capricorn energy. This is just what we've come out of. 2021 was Capricorn year. Restriction in which we are. And, you know, world views, which was going on, everything that was going on in the world. You may be interested in a person that lives in another country, or you may be abroad, you may be overseas at the moment. It talks about distant shores and a sense of completion or a new journey into a new adventure. Pause to acknowledge your success, path of joy, and new adventure that may be coming in. You're about to start a whole new cycle, which is a whole new year, which we have. Then you've got people around you as a person who may be a singer, actor, writer, dancer, painter, or someone that likes to be creative. They like to volunteer. They have lots of energy, but they can become easily distracted by the new opportunity. A joyful, playful person. And you've got balance. There's that one there. And that talks about merging viewpoints. You may have very different opposing viewpoints to someone else. You may be interested in studying the law, or you may have studied the law at uni, and you know facts and figures and your rights as an individual. You may be a supporter of the human rights bill, which we need to pass as a law, which we're head of. Australia was actually the instigators who drew up the Council of the Human Rights. And it's in 62 countries from memory. So a wise and knowing person may be male or female, or has both energies in their chart, who has had it very rough in life and grew stronger from those experiences. May have come from a poor background, can educate you and point you in the right direction with a knowing look in her eye and a flick of her wrist. Amazing patience and hysterically funny. Vast and diverse experiences, does not like drama. Will distance themselves from people who cause more drama than joy. Single and does not suffer fools easily. So that's that card. That's that spread I've got for you. And then I've got this is the deck of the Enchanted Tarot, so Enchanted Oracle by Colette-Baron-Reid. Just see what we've got as a significator. So it's a good reading all in all. It talks about ending up with a Queen of Winter, which is the swords. They could be divorced as well, or separated. So you could talk about Aquarius, Gemini, Libra energy. Libra is strongly featured in their chart because you've got the Justice card. So you may have a 9th or 10th house in Libra. And you prefer balance. They love to argue as well. People with this in their chart love to argue, especially when they know they're right. So that could be a career that they could look into, or maybe looking into. Oh, there we go. First card I pulled is slow and steady. Okay. So being a Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo, they tend to move very slowly. The Prince of Pentacles, there's a picture of it in the other deck where he's floating on this leaf that's flying down the pond. It's a fairy deck. And he's just gently taking his time. He's not rushing, doesn't like to be rushed. And so it's talking about an earth energy that is slow moving and likes to be careful about decisions and choices. They don't rush in. They don't rush in where angels fear to tread. Not impulsive like the Queen of Swords. They tend to be rushing. Well, when they're younger. When they're older, they don't rush in. They take their time as well. Once bitten, twice shy. That's the old saying. The other one is starve a fever, feed a cold. So I guess I'll be living on water and Coke today. It's terrible. It just comes and goes. It's like you get rid of it and then it comes back. And I think it's gone round and round in our whole family. My son's got it at the moment, so I'm hoping he's okay. I've been giving him natural therapies, which I find works better for him as well, but as long as it's able to be contained. And also we look at things like Panadol and soaking his feet in Vicks with geranium oil. Geranium oil works a treat. Gets rid of any type of flu-like symptoms. Then you've got Golden Palace. I had this before, and it was for aquarium reading I did a while ago. So that's interesting that that's come up. Maybe some of you live in a palace. It could be just for one specific person there, or you live in a place that has a palace, like a country that has a palace. Like a cold place, which is why I got Queen of Swords, because she's in the snow in that picture. It's her in the snow with a sled. So yeah, I think that's how I get my impressions. I just watch footage of movies that certain actors are in that I admire, or like the movies that they star in, or just think they're, really good, just like how they act, or like the movies that they portray different characters in, or just because I like the look of them. Everyone's got crushes on different actors, and then I'll get impressions. Or I can use a photograph, or I can, touch a piece of clothing, something that you've worn for a long time, or for sometimes most of the time I get it from jewellery, like it's my son's ring, and I'll get impressions for him all day, because his energy's all over it. Good and bad energy. Maybe he's got past memories there that are really painful, because it was from it was his ring he bought in a relationship he no longer is in. I sometimes got all the emotion that was attached to that, which he never expressed at the time, being a boy, when it broke up. So I've got to deal with that as well. Treasure Island. That's a good card. That's like all your ships coming. It's very similar to the Three of Wands. It's like a bounty. Or someone's paying a bounty for someone. I don't know if someone's in prison, or they are in a place where they like a compound, and the only way to get out is to pay a ransom of some sort. I don't know. That's for a very specific person. Oh, there it is. Finally come out. Building blocks. Oh, this is very earth energy. This is about wanting to build something with someone. Building a house, building a new extension on the house. Maybe you've got a house that needs repairs. Talks about building a relationship with someone. It can also mean that. If you can hear that noise in the background, I'm sorry, I've got my fan on because it's pretty warm today. Okay, so we've got, the first card is Slow and Steady, the 12. Wisdom of the Oracle. Remember the old cliche, slow and steady wins the race. This is a time for easy movement, unhurried steps, and a steady heart. Trust that taking life at a more leisurely pace will give you greater success or access to things. To your dreams. So slow down allows more contact with the juicier elements of your life. It says savor the morsel of food that you're eating. Savor that moment you have with someone, that first meeting with someone. 23. This is the Golden Palace I talked about. The Golden Palace card represents good fortune, ambitions, fulfilled wealth, and prosperity. It may also indicate emotional fulfillment, as perhaps you're entering a time of happiness that's long overdue. The message here is that self-worth isn't measured by what you have, no matter how abundant your life is. Instead, it comes from what you are, how authentically you're living your life, and how much love you're willing to share. Granted, receiving this card does indicate material gain and furthering of tangible rewards. But things come and go, and now your true value leads to even greater riches now. Share the wealth. So you may have just come into some money, I don't know, won the lotto, inherited something. It's talking about a large sum, and that this large sum of money may come to you in different types of ways. Maybe you're part of a will that took a long time to go through because it had legal ramifications on how best to support or distribute it because of arguments in the family. It happens a lot with wills. I don't tend to get involved. I don't think it's worth the effort. Strong foundations, a beautiful work in progress. You have everything you need to cultivate an extraordinary life. This is a time for you to focus on the needs to be on the foundations you build upon. Your work, your relationships, your very being is underwritten by your values, your ethics, your morals and core beliefs. Are they still true for you? Will they stand the test of time and serve as the solid grounding upon which you construct your life? Now you're making changes that will affect everything in a positive way. Your destiny is a truly remarkable and beautiful design. When you see this card, know you are attracting new relationships into your life and solidifying the ones you already have by building them on the foundations of honesty, humility, and clear communication. And that's not always easy when you may be not sure of your own feelings. And I'm going deaf in one ear. That's confirmation. Someone needs to hear that message that it's not being expressed to them because maybe they don't even know what they feel or how to define it. Yeah. You are moving towards laying the groundwork for a relationship with a firm footing that will ensure it can stand any storm. Long-standing relationships are also repaired and strengthened, and you and the other person are stronger, wiser, and more powerful together than apart. You have everything you need now to turn iron into gold, of creating the prosperous life you desire. Now is the time to build on the strong foundations you have already laid for your prosperity. Keep in mind these building blocks are imbued with the sparkling energy of your intentions. Own your dream and remember that you always have more than enough, and you always are enough, so abundance is ever present. Your creativity is divinely inspired, and the design for your life is taking shape in service to the world. You are meant for success. So maybe even just doing a channel is benefiting the world in some shape or form. Positive messages. Because everything's so negative at the moment. Treasure Island. 9. Okay. Treasure Island. The law of attraction brings dreams into fruition, the results of positive energy, which is aqua, water. Water is also very positive, very flowing. And it's coming out of nowhere. Financial gains and the sharing of good fortune. You've worked hard and acted upon your unwavering belief in abundance, and suddenly in the midst of all of it, you hit jackpot. You've uncovered the map to bury treasure and tap the unlimited potential within you. What you must know and hone in now is your ability to recognize when X marks the spot. This is talking about a map. Maybe you were geographically not placed in the right country to be with the person that you want to be with. You have an ocean of water between the two of you. So these golden opportunities may not be so readily available to you. Trust your intuition to light your way now as you enter this truly prosperous phase. where all the long, hard work navigating your inner life is now paying off. Externally, in all aspects of your life at this time, you have very good fortune. Don't forget to enjoy it and share it with others, as treasure shared multiplies like magic. Your relationship is a treasure, providing even more than you need. But you may not see that right now. No matter how long you've been together, you and your partner are always discovering hidden gems about yourselves and each other. Now's the time of discovery. It's as if everything is in sync and everything is new again. Romance will bloom and love is in the air. You can be sure that this partnership will bring you great gifts and valuable lessons. Keep your heart open. The message of this card is to celebrate love and what it teaches you. So for some earth signs, this is fairly new. And it's with Aquarium, Libra, Gemini. Your ideas are all hitting the mark, and you're in a true manifestation period where you will see evidence of the seeds of prosperity you planted in the past. The appearance of this card in a reading indicates that your dreams and aspirations align with concrete signs of prosperity in the world of form. This is a very auspicious and fortunate time for business. Creative projects will flourish and inspiration will strike. Share your wealth with others too. Generosity and gratitude should lead you now. So generosity can also be like simple things, like being grateful, I don't know, doing an act of kindness, or an act of kindness, buying things for the house that you share with, cooking someone a meal, cleaning the house even though it's not your job, just things like that. Those things are an act of kindness that is like paying it forward with that movie. You do good for others and it comes back to find you somewhere in the way the universe meters out good deeds and bad deeds. So hopefully that hits them up for someone. In particular, the actor. What I was also seeing was, I don't know where he is or what he's doing at the moment, but in the back steps he was showing me there was like a stage theatre, and he was showing behind the curtain there was these boxes that were underground. They were like shelving. It's like, look under the stage, the theatre, under the floorboards, there is something buried there, buried treasure, which is what I'm getting with this. Something has been buried a long time ago in it. Either I'm getting very specific. Let's see, it's either in an old theatre. When people used to go away to war, they buried their treasure in the wall. So when they came back, all their possessions were there, in case they had no money, because war days, it was very hard to get to a bank. So they would store their great treasures in the wall. So it's saying someone has buried treasure in a floorboard. And it's in a theatre, or I also got the impression of a church. Because you know how the church is like a theatre, like the front of the stage where people get up and do the sermon. At the back of the church, I'm getting in a floorboard at the back of the curtain, behind the curtain, is a treasure. Maybe he's got some sort of background with Germany. Maybe he's got some heritage with Germany. I'm getting Germany strong. Or something was buried in a place a long time ago for his family. Like it's passed down, generational, passed down. Yeah, something very specific, like a jewelry, a ring that he may have heard about that's been passed down, and he will access it at a certain age when he meets the right person. Maybe that's what it means, when he meets the one. Ooh. Well, I hope there's confirmation of birds singing. That's it. Hopefully this will resonate for that person and also for all the other earth signs out there.